Then welcome to episode number 10 of the podcast, today with Ahmed Radwan, president of the FIFA Players Committee here in Qatar for esports. Flattered to have you here today for our anniversary, for episode number 10. And for everyone who's wondering why I'm wearing this, today, 2 years back, we won the cup, the German Cup against Bayern Munich. And it's part of the day that I need to wear this shirt for the anniversary podcast. And since we're talking about esports and football, I think it's more than matching the topic. So Ahmed, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Marco. Thank you for having me with you.
For sure. Thank you for taking your time and joining us here. Esports is our topic today. We've been chatting a while about that, and this has been cooking and has been in the making that you come on the podcast. And I think episode number 10 is exactly what we needed for that, to have you. So esports in Qatar, tell us a bit about esports. Is it sports?
Well, esports in general. Now, esports is a short of electronic sports, which has anything to do with electronics, basically consoles, PC, and other video games platforms. Well, of course, it's sports right now. It wasn't considered as sports in the previous years, but currently it's becoming an official sport, and people are competing. A lot of organizations are coming up with federations. Companies are involved in esports right now. Investors are investing in esports, so it's becoming a huge part of the investment part throughout the year or throughout any annual country
calendar,
country's business. Yes, 100%. Yeah. So basically, it's two people competing in a video game or a sport, whether it's football, whether it's a shooting game, whether it's any sports game. Even though adventure games are, they're coming up with the competition as well. Previously, before. With the old technologies, before the internet, well, not before the internet, but when the internet was really, really slow and it wasn't that strong and accurate, just like nowadays, people used to play at home, right? PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, maybe a Nintendo 64.
Oh, yeah. This was my first one, Nintendo 64.
Yes, it was The image of esports and video games was that you only go, you go back to your place, you sit on your couch and you play your favorite game. That was the image, like a getaway for you, maybe, or a relaxing time.
Yeah, just to enjoy your time, escape from your time, from your day.
Exactly. I would call that like 15, 20 years ago. Well, of course, it developed. Things got really bigger right now with the technology of each sports. Of each video game, with the technology and development of each publisher that produce different games, they are becoming huge. They started seeing the traffic created in each game or in each console, depends on your priority or what do you like or what you're into. And then after that, competitions started to occur. And when you have a competition in something with a huge traffic, it means that it's a competition. There's something going on there. People are competing. A lot of people are, going into tournaments online and offline. So after that, it got the attraction of companies and even governments around the world. So this is how esports basically developed over the years. And every time we see development in technology, you will see a better competition and a better performance when it comes to players and when it comes to the quality and technology of each game.
Okay, just to jump back a little bit, maybe for those who are new to esports. Obviously, and you said it, we're not only talking about football. We're not talking only about competing in FIFA and PES, whatever it is in basketball, in American football. There's much more to it. So, what other games do people compete in? And you mentioned publishers. So publishers, I guess EA Sports, and many more. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Now different games, they have like different publishers, just like any company who are, they came up with an invention or they came up with a thing. When it comes to gaming, you will have the publishers, the ones that developed the game and created the game. So basically they own the rights and they own everything related to the game when it comes to tournaments, when it comes to creating communities for them and all that. So yeah, this is the situation when it comes to esports. It's kind of different than reality sports or actual sports and actual competitions. Going back to your first question, now, of course, not only sports, it's different games. Depends on what you like. There's the sporting part in it, sports part, and there is also strategy parts. There's also war. It depends on what you like. It depends on what's new in the market and what's out there right now. It can be a competition, and it can be just a normal adventurous game where you just sit at home and try to finish the game, just like Metal Gear, The Last of Us right now, a few other games. I mean, I can mention you a huge list of thousands of games.
And that is I think the interesting part, because we never know what else might be created. So we are not limited to the 4, 5, 6 that are trending or that are being played right now.
Definitely not.
Whatever will be created in the future in terms of adventure games and strategic games.
Exactly. Interesting thing about this as well, it's just like if you look at the region here in the Middle East, if you want to compare that to actual sports, and you look at our region, the Middle East, for example, you will find that football is the #1 sport, right? If you go to America, you'll find that maybe basketball is the #1 game over there. Maybe if you go to Asia, it's different, it's cricket or different game. It's exactly the same when it comes to esports. I mean, when you go to America, you'll find the #1 or most popular game is 2K, basketball game. Here is FIFA in the region. When you go to Asia, you'll find like strategy games. It's like Dota 2 or League of Legends. So this is very interesting, and it shows that how that similar or actual sports is really similar to esports. When it comes to interest and what you like.
Yeah, and I mean, for what you were just saying, it's around the world. It's extremely accessible. We were talking a while back about this, how accessible it is. It doesn't really require anything. We were talking about this. For like, take football for an example. You go through academies. You need to really be the best of the best, and you need to have also a bit of luck to be in the right place at the right time, possibly parents who push you. But esports is much more accessible for everyone, for every age, from extremely young, just being able to hold the controller literally, to we don't know really, 50, 60, 70 years old.
Yes, exactly. Now in this part, this part for me is really, really important, because as I mentioned to you before, one of my childhood dreams is to be an actual football player, and I really wanted to do that. Unfortunately, I did not have the chance to play professional football, so I transferred all of my passion into the game. I transferred every single passion that I have for football into FIFA or Pro Evolution or any football game. So it's like that, and it is really accessible for people. Now, before, all what you have to do is buy a TV and a console, and you're good to go. But right now, because there is a professional aspect in it and a professional part in it, so it's either you're going to play the game professionally or you're just going to play it for fun. Just like you're going to play a friendly game with your friends, or you're representing a club or a national team. So it's like that. If you want to do it in a professional way, no, there are certain things that you need to provide: a strong internet connection, the right console, the right TV, a lot of things. A lot of companies right now are creating customized machines and customized equipment for gaming. It's like a monitor, a gaming monitor, a specialized gaming monitor for games. Certain specifications for each console and each TV, and so it's kind of, I don't want to say it's complicated, but there are things that you have to provide if you want to go professionally.
Okay. If you mention this now, there are consoles and TVs and everything custom made for players. Do we need to eventually talk about cheating and having a stronger console than your competitor, and just maybe this will give you an advantage in the game? Is that a topic in esports?
I mean, all your topics are really, really keen, and like they're core of the esports business. Cheating is a huge problem right now, and of course there are a lot of terms and regulations for players who cheat, especially if you're playing on a professional level. If you cheat, or maybe you hacked the game, or you did anything, against the regulations, you will be banned for life. And they don't joke about that at all,
Okay.
But right now they do have a lot of protection programs and basically engineers that will find out if you're cheating or if you do anything wrong. But apart from all that, now what I'm finding is what I'm basically struggling in my personal tournaments or in tournaments around the world is that a lot of players, you'll find them using another account, or for example, if I'm playing in this online tournament, for example, I'm gonna let my friend take my place, and if he's better than me, he's gonna play in my spot or my place. That is a problem. However, there are some technologies right now which is going to be implemented in the market hopefully soon, or maybe in the 5th generation, which is going to be end of this year. Is that there are a lot of sensors and programs that will be downloaded in the game. It will detect and know if you're representing yourself or not. These are just one of the things when it comes to cheating. But if you're going to a professional tournament, or maybe you're traveling to another country to compete and to play another tournament, then no, there's no chance for you. It's very difficult. It's not easy as you think. There are a lot of intelligent people behind it, and they will know and discover if there is anything wrong. And seriously, they don't joke about it. People can be banned for life. They tell you, "Khalas, you're not going to play anymore. You can't play anymore. You're not going to compete anymore. You're out of the game. Just go home and play for fun."
Oh wow! That's severe measures, but I think because it can be possibly done so easily just on an amateur level. Like you said, the higher you get, the more professional it gets, the more difficult it gets to cheat. But I think it's extremely important. How do you see esports here in Qatar? Because the first time I think that was maybe a year ago roughly, where I really got in contact and said, wow, this is really taking off, is when I saw an event that was, I think, hosted in London in the O2 World, and it was some World Cup final on FIFA.
FIFA, yeah.
And what I really liked about it, basically the arena was full. It was like a stadium atmosphere, and they were cheering for those players. And like you said in the opening sentence, when it reaches this enthusiasm for people, and we really have offline events to an online tournament, then I think it moves really people, and this is where it gets exciting. How do you see this here in Qatar?
It is. Now, in Qatar, it's developing rapidly throughout the years. I mean, I've been very lucky to witness the development of esports within the last 4 or 5 years, and I would like to consider myself as one of the reasons to develop at least the FIFA part of it. For me, it's a very emotional thing. I mean, for me, it's like a dream that is coming true, because there's much more to come right now. Back in 2014, when the PlayStation 4 came out, it was like late 2013, beginning of 2014. The perspective of video games and sports has changed. And I remember in 2001 or 2002, I competed in a PlayStation 1 tournament in City Center Mall in Qatar. That was like almost 20 years ago here in Doha, and that was like the earlier beginnings of the tournaments, and it didn't get that huge attention. It's just like 2 TVs with 2 small consoles, and people come around and they just compete, and that's it. But in 2014, when I saw the interest of people here in Doha, and people are looking for such tournaments, and they're looking for such events, And personally, I was very interested in FIFA, so I created the FIFA committee where I gathered everyone to play FIFA tournaments. And then it got, it developed throughout the year. And then we saw that a lot of esports teams are being created right now. I can't name them because there are a lot. I mean, maybe more than 10 or 15 teams here in Qatar right now, and you will only hear about them later on when they actually compete in global and international events. On a domestic level here in Qatar, there are a lot of tournaments. I mean, while we speak, there are maybe 3 or 4 online tournaments going on in different games right now. We just finished also an online tournament a few days ago, and we're launching another online tournament, in a week. But there are also other committees with different games, like Super Smash, League of Legends, other video games, are also creating online tournaments, especially with the current situation and everything. Online is becoming very interesting for people. But it is developing, Marco. It's crazy, and I can see the level of players here. They are up there. They can compete against international players, and this is what's also interesting about esports, is that you can always have a chance to develop yourself. If you're not good at one game, you can try another game, and you can start from the beginning. You don't have to start from early ages in your life. No, you can start at any age basically. And if you're interested in it, if you're gonna put enough hours, enough exercise and practice in it, you're gonna be good. So people are aware of that right now. Youngs are aware of that. Youngsters are aware of that right now. They are creating teams. They are competing in tournaments. They're actually paying to register here and there for different games. So they have this mentality started to grow right now, and not only in individuals. It's also growing in firms and companies. They know that esports is big. It's not the next big thing. It is big already. And so that's why they're creating events and creating tournaments. And the more they create, the more people will be educated about it and what's going on. Right now, even parents, a lot of parents, they are aware of the situation. They can even force their kids or child, to go and play. Unlike 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
That's an interesting dynamic, because when I remember back, that was more of a play an hour, but don't overdo it. Enjoy a little bit, but then also go out and play. That now. Now you say it's quite the opposite. People or parents even asking or pushing children towards that. Many interesting things that you said. Obviously, the whole COVID-19 pandemic and the situation that we're in right now, I can only imagine that this was a boost to esports, because it's been a boost on so many other digital levels. If you take away that we can't go outside, and you're possibly trying to compete on other platforms, on other levels. Was that a big boost? I can imagine.
It is. It was a huge, even on a personal level. I've never played Call of Duty. I know Call of Duty is a big game, of course, but I never played it. But right now, considering the situation, I downloaded the game and I started playing Call of Duty with FIFA. So if it's really impacting everyone, because you're just sitting at home. Maybe if you finish your business, you finish your work, you will have time, or you want to see what's going on. And if you're going to read an article or two or something online that, esports is the next big thing, and what is esport? Okay, I have a console at home, I'll try it, I'll try this game, I'll try that game. And a lot of people, they've never held a console before, actually started right now to play, just to discover what's going on,
To discover, and I think that's the exciting part, to just try, because we are still. You said it's been coming for a while, and it is already big, definitely. But I would say it hasn't hit the radar of many people, of the broader mass. So this is still to come. Hopefully very soon. Another interesting thing that you mentioned is. It doesn't really matter where you're from. You can compete on a world-class level, and in the big sports we see it all the time. That's just not the case. Smaller countries, when you compete in team events, it's always the same. I want to say 5 nations that compete on, let's keep it in football, on like in the top level. And now you say, of course, I think what I saw, who played the FIFA World Cup final a year back, the one in the O2 World, who played again? I think it was
Saudi Dosari.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And he played against a German guy called Mo Boyan, something like that.
Yeah.
He won the World Cup.
So.
He's actually, yeah, he's a German player from Germany.
Okay.
He won the World Cup, and he played against Saudi Dosari. That was the last. That was the last FIFA's final.
Exactly, and it's not to imagine that on a football level that we would see Saudi competing on that level.
In the final.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And I think, like, no matter what country it is, a smaller country that wouldn't usually compete on that level, there's a huge there's a factor of being proud of someone competing on that level, no matter like the platform. And I think that's really exciting. And if it moves so many people, and we have events and thousands of people come together and cheer, then, like you said, we are very close to actual sporting events, right?
Yes, exactly. I totally agree with you, Marco. I mean, this esport thing is giving everyone a chance, you know. It's giving really everyone a chance to put this energy into what they like. I mean, if they're into esports, and anyone can compete, anyone at any time, at any level, you know. Exactly. There's something really interesting. I was also discussing that with my friends, and I discussed it with you before in your office, is that the retirement age. If you look at the actual sport,
yes, exactly, we talked about this.
You know, yes, I mean, a football player can reach up to like 35, 36, 37,
40 if you're Gigi Buffon.
You know, maybe, and then that's it. You know, you retire. But when it comes to esports, is there a retirement age? Now, we don't know the actual question, the actual answer for that, because we are actually in an era where everything is started. You know what I mean? So is there, will there be like injuries for players? Maybe, I don't know, mental injuries, maybe, you know, injuries when it comes maybe to your arms, your hands. Is there, you know, but for me, if I want to answer the question, I would say there is no retirement age. I mean, if you're capable of, if you're mentally there, if you can control, if you can hold the joystick or whatever you're playing with, and you have the passion to keep going, then you can play, I mean, forever, you know. So it's very interesting, and that's why you can compete at any time.
It is an exciting topic, just because what you said, we don't have the proof. Nobody has been playing for 40 years yet.
Yes,
or
it's very early. Yes,
20 years even. So we don't know what is the long-term impact on someone who is literally playing every day for hours to train and to keep fit and to keep competing. And we were speaking about this, that I think you told me that actual professional players, they need to work out, and not only in front of the console, but they actually work out just like athletes that play on the pitch, because they need to keep fit mentally, they need to be physically there as well. Of
course, and also they need to maintain a diet. You know, I'm talking about professional esports player, and this is the way to do it. I mean, if you want to go professional, if you want to really compete, you might as well do that. You know, you might start with that, and it's good for you at the end. You know, and there's a lot of, you know, it's a controversial topic, Marco, because a lot of people will come against, you know, staying in front of the console for 10, 12 hours a day. I mean, this is what's happening right now. If you're gonna work somewhere, you're gonna have to like sit in front of a laptop or a computer for like 8 hours a day. It's basically the same thing. You need to put your focus into it. You know. So these are, there's a lot of topics in esports, and if the more you dig into it, the more you'll discover it's actually, you know, important topics. It can be a life-changing thing, you know, for everyone.
Yeah. And speaking about life-changing, we need to speak, of course, about, if you compare it already, if you sit 8 hours in front of a company's laptop, or you sit 8-10 hours in front of your console, where does the money come from? do we have money involved in the system already? I know yes, but tell us a bit about that.
Well, okay, it depends. Now, money when it comes to players itself, you mean, or when it comes to companies or publishers?
I mean, from a publisher side, of course. I think that...
from publisher side, I mean, they are up there, you know.
Yes.
Well, if the game is successful, and, you know, there are a lot of ways and a lot of things, you know, to make money out of the game, you know, and a lot of, you know, players, some players, they don't like that, but sometimes it's necessary because it's business at the end. For example, FIFA. I mean, FIFA and EA, they're huge in the business, you know. I mean, I can name you a lot of ways of FIFA and EA, how are they making money. I don't want to mention by selling the game itself, because this is one part of it. Selling millions and millions of copies every year. That by itself is enough. But you know, the options in the game itself, I mean, if you want to unlock something, if you want to like buy a few coins, points, you know, to open some packs when it comes to something called Ultimate Team in FIFA, you will have to spend some money, you know. But they also give you the option where you can, if you don't want to spend anything, you can do that, but you will have to put more hours into the game and play more games to reach, or maybe to create your ultimate team. That's one of the options, you know, for them to make money out of the games, you know, and they're investing the money into developing the game itself as well. Of course. And right now we're looking at the fifth generation. Fifth generation is going to be out in December 2020. And you know, PlayStation 5, Xbox X Series, it's a fifth generation. So a lot of people are looking up to that, and you know, different games which will be out there.
Let's talk from a player's perspective. On a professional level, we see already Premier League teams, Bundesliga teams. They have their own e-gaming department now. How we see the guys on the pitch. Usually, not at the moment. But we see e-gaming leagues, FIFA leagues being established and being played. But these guys are obviously on a professional level. From someone like you, I know you're playing, you're great at FIFA as well. I can't speak for myself.
But I'm not professional, but I do play FIFA.
Not professional, but there are platforms where you can share your playing experience, talking about Twitch, talking about other platforms, YouTube, etc. How is it possible to monetize this as a player? Is it possible at all?
Yes, of course. Of course. I mean, if you want to look at it now, if I'm representing a team, for example, okay, I'm recording. Basically, I do have an account, or my team has an account on Twitch or YouTube or whatever platform or gaming platform, gaming streaming platform. You know, I'm playing and competing, and then I can actually stream the game live, and people can go there and can just stream it for free, or maybe there's a certain subscription for certain games. Maybe it's a final of a you know, tournament here or there. So this is a part of it, you know. And another part of it is that creating traffic in the videos. If my videos are reaching 10 million viewers, 15, 20 million viewers every day, I'm streaming, or every day I'm uploading a video, or maybe something funny happened during the game. You know, that's creating traffic. You know, it's creating people. You know,
traffic, and then we are not far from advertisement costs. I can imagine. And
that's
sponsorships.
Something else, of course. I mean, it's something else when it comes to, you know, maintaining and keeping me going. You know, or keeping the players going. What do they do? Advertisement is a big thing, and right now, advertisement at companies, when it comes to clothing, when it comes to technologies, when it comes to basically everything. Because at the end, I'm an esport player, but I do have other interests as well. You know,
of course, of course.
So it's also a big target. You know.
No, and we spoke about this. We talk about merchandise. We talk about a subscription. If you want to maybe unlock a certain angle, if there are different camera angles, there's so many options to create revenue for the player as well. And obviously, the better you get, the more exciting.
And of course, don't forget about sponsors. Who are, you know, sponsors that they sponsor the actual player himself. If he's a good player, he will be sponsored right now. He will be sponsored by big firms, you know, around the world.
Yeah. No, that's interesting how companies, how brands get involved, how agencies are created and have those young players or potential future professionals under them. We spoke about this. Extremely exciting. From here onwards, how do we see esports developing in the next year or two? You mentioned fifth generation is coming up, PlayStation 5 is coming up. Where do we go from here?
Well, the way that I'm seeing it is technology-wise. I mean, the technology that is put in terms of graphics, in terms of gameplay, in terms of a lot of aspects in the game itself, and a lot of need for professional players. I think right now the games and publishers will focus on the competition level more than anything else. You know, they will focus on that part, and they will focus on the part where you actually, you know, I don't want to say some games are scripted, but some games are scripted. You know,
okay. What does it mean? What does scripted mean?
It means that if you're gonna it means that the game is written. You know, the scenario is written sometimes. I'm not speaking every time. It's but it's part of the development of the game itself, or certain games. You know what I mean? For example, if I'm playing a football game against one of my friends, whatever I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna dribble the ball forever, maybe he will reach to a level or to a moment where he will never maybe get the ball from me. You know, that I don't think we're gonna see that anymore in the fifth generation. If I'm gonna shoot the ball from this angle, it means it's definitely gonna go into the goal. You know, so that's, you know, the scenario is right there. You know what's gonna happen. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, you know.
Like for me, when I play FIFA and I shoot the ball towards the target, I'm sure it's not gonna hit the target.
That's not scripted.
this is a clear case of being scripted then, and I hope with the fifth generation that will not be the case anymore. No.
Yeah. So this is where it's going. This part of it only, Marco. Not mentioning, of course, the gameplay itself. The level of the gameplay is going to be on a different level. It's going to be to a way where people are actually going to be interested in competing. I don't know. There will a lot of things will come up. You know, graphics, gameplay. These things are very, very important, and a lot of people complained about the fourth generation and the current consoles right now, and some current games. I don't think we're going to see any more maybe glitches in the game itself. There's a lot of glitches. You will find them in different games. You know, hopefully that's not going to be there anymore. As I said, they will focus more on the competition level, and they will focus. Games will be publishers. They will focus also on doing it a way where maybe one or two games will be only updated. Like, you don't have to buy a different version every year, because you're gonna reach to a level where, I mean, they've did everything, you know. And then where are you gonna go after that? You know, where are you gonna go after that? There's maybe you can't find anything else to put more into the game itself. So you're gonna reach to a level where there will be patches to be updated every now and then, you know. Okay,
yeah, that's an interesting thought. And I buying FIFA every year, I don't, but I think for someone who's playing literally like a lot, and you play every game, every edition, I think like you said before, there are certain that, I don't know, 18-19 was not such a big jump, but then 19-20 there was like a huge one, and like you said, there might be a roof somewhere, a ceiling that they hit, and where you say, okay, let's only come out with a new game if there's really some significant improvement that we can add.
True, and that's not only in football.
Not only, of course not.
It applies on all games, everything, and every single thing that's going to be out in the console.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let us wrap up here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. I have a feeling that we will have a second part to that, because it's such an exciting topic, and we could go on for hours
of
here
course.
to talk about esports. We will definitely have you back and have a part 2 of that. Thank you so much, Ahmed.
To Marco. Thank you very much for having me, Marco.
Hey guys, I hope you liked that video. Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please give the video a like, subscribe to our channel for more interesting and inspiring content. Comment down below what you would like us to post. Don't miss out on any of our videos by turning on the notifications on our channel. Somewhere here, I guess. You can find all our social media links in the description below. Make sure to keep yourself updated with our content. See you in the next video.